Hi there. Welcome to Twin Peaks Twin Perspective. Thoughts we thought you didn't think of. I'm Joe.
I'm James. Josie.
Poor Josie.
She is always with us.
That's not made of wood, though.
It's painted brass. Double coats.
Full spoilers on everything Twin Peaks. Tonight we're going to be getting into Part 12, Let's Rock, of Twin Peaks The Return. These are thoughts we thought you didn't think of. Of course, the community thinks of everything, so full credit to the community. We don't take credit for what we're talking about during these segments.
Some of it we do.
Well, some of it we do, and we'll tell you when no one else is talking about some of the obvious things, and we bring up a lot of that stuff in our videos. Of course, no one watches our videos, and so it never gets spread around. And so people are kind of like going blindly, and some of this stuff is just clear as day.
I missed the review for Part 12.
Yeah, I did the review and recap for Part 12 by myself. He was
Dodo.
and so
I'm making Dodo.
and so I have to ask you. I gave it an 8 out of 10 and said it was my least favorite, and it was because they slammed on the brakes from the French girl on. What did you think about Part 12, Les Rock?
I say 7 out of 10.
I was close to give this,
But lower than the other 7 I gave for Part 10. Since the trippy episode, Part 8, it is the odd numbered episodes have been far more greater than the even numbered episodes. And the languishing seems like we'll be okay. Audrey, everything, just the brakes got slammed on from the French girl to Audrey to the Roadhouse. 13 new characters or 14 new characters introduced, and then it's over. So just it'll be better for a part of a movie than as a part.
right?
As the whole, it'll get better.
Right. It's a great hour of film, but when you're crunched for time and you're waiting a week at a time for these hours,
And you're looking at the deadline, 6 hours. We only have 6 hours.
yeah, we were already saying 7 hours isn't enough to sew up all the loose ends.
It's
No.
going to get fast paced.
You think it will?
This is the languishing in a 2-hour movie that you get a beginning, middle, and end, and towards the end of the middle, before the climax, you could kind of beat a dead horse with kind of just trying to stretch it out.
Taking your time. Yeah. We can't make all of the beginning the slow part and then make everything fast at the end. That would just make the beginning too slow. So believe me, there's going to be some languishing. Even in the
Languishing
last
left.
30 minutes, I remember season 2, the last episode, we are in the thick of things. Cooper's in the Black Lodge, and we go to the bank where this old man takes forever to walk in. I mean, Lynch has been doing this forever, and he will do it to you. He may waste, we might waste the last 10 minutes of this entire season in the Roadhouse talking about people we're never going to meet.
I'm not that harsh. I think there was a bit of trolling involved with Lynch this week, and if it would have been spread out, because it was fast paced the first 35 minutes, it was looking like could have been one of the best episodes ever.
Yeah.
And if there's any kind of way you could have just thrown the French girl at the beginning and Audrey somewhere in the middle, and I guarantee you, if you start your cold pan on Audrey and then pan over to the Charlie, my bad. That is too.
Chuck, Charlie.
Just boom, cold cut to Charlie, and then pan over to Audrey, and you see her in the pan over for like 10 seconds. Give the fans that much. Give them that 5 seconds to cheer, and then get their hearts broken or whatever. I don't know what y'all were looking at. Audrey's the same person she was.
Mm-hmm. She really is.
I mean,
she's just cursing now.
Yeah.
She has someone.
She cost her daddy millions.
The first scene out of the gate, oh my God! And she had someone to attack. She didn't like her father, and she went right at him and cost that family millions of dollars. Just the brattiest thing to do. And then she goes off, and she's so full of herself. She thinks the FBI agent's going to let her tag along, right? I mean, and then she goes on her own little expedition, and it's not like James and Donna who were doing this little. That what they were doing felt more like Nancy Drew or the Hardy Boys or something.
Yeah.
Audrey's going to a damn One-Eyed Jacks and posing as a girl of the night.
She's more like Lois Lane than Scully. And I think she could be working with Evil Coop. Okay, let's talk about Audrey. Let's stay with Audrey. Let's look at Charlie and look at the picture of the guy that was with Evil Coop in front of the glass box, and it looks like the same guy to me.
Could it be the same guy? This actor's 5'4". The way the photo is, it's hard to tell if it's the same guy or not. I haven't really gone back and studied the photo. I saw someone post the photo in New York next to a picture of the actor. It could be the same guy. I don't think he's the billionaire that owns the penthouse, but he could be a scientist involved.
Yeah.
And that T.S. Eliot book that he had of poems, the 4 quartets, and those are all about man's relationship with time and space and the other side and stuff like that. It just seems like something a scientist would have if he would.
The contract that he was talking about, or Audrey reneging on, could be an Evil Coop contract with Charlie, and that she's part of that contract and she's getting out of it. The deal, whatever the deal was for the information that the scientist had to help, and in exchange, I'll give you my hussy I knocked up while she was in a coma and her son or something. I don't know. I'm being completely silly, but at the same time,
right? You're saying
it's a languishing scene now to us, but I think there's more importance with the introduction of Audrey.
So Audrey wouldn't have willingly married this guy unless she was forced to. So you think that Mr. C would be the kind of person that would
or her love for Coop, if she thinks it's the real one.
Right. If she.
But part of the, maybe not sleeping with him. You said yourself you don't think they're even living together.
No, I think Charlie made a comment where, why don't you just stay here, spend the night, and then we'll go first thing in the morning. He would have said, why don't you just go to bed if they lived together. The way the room looked, it just didn't seem like a place that Audrey lived. It seemed like this guy's room. So, yeah, I think Audrey is definitely separated from this guy. I don't know if sex was part of the contract or not. I don't know. That's weird, though. We got to see about the contract. Now, if this guy's not connected to the glass box in New York, then,
But I do think the phone call, it was Richard, that he was finding out something Audrey doesn't know yet. Why they didn't get a hold of her. It's a good reason, because it's not her address. Why the cops didn't get a hold of Audrey if she was Richard's mother. But the phone call with Charlie, with Tina, I think that's exactly that conversation was taking place. So you didn't hear Richard stole the truck, ran over a boy, tried to kill.
We heard the story already earlier in the episode. Truman told the story to Ben. So Frank Truman says, I'm sorry, Ben, and he tells the story. Richard's the one that killed the kid. Miriam was attacked by Richard. Miriam survived. Richard is pegged by Miriam now. He didn't say if she said it word of mouth or they had, the evidence with the letter or whatever.
He definitely talked to Harry already.
But yes, yeah, really. So
Harry might have been the one that called him. Hey, I got a letter.
We saw the Tina end of the conversation watching Truman. So that was what I got out of it.
Me too. When you go back and look at it, it looks like
it fits.
It's important information.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he tells her or not.
We already know Richard stole the guy's truck. We know the farmer's truck was used in the hit and run of the boys. So, and we know that Richard did it. And then we saw the truck was returned. Then we hear the story that Chuck's the guy that stole the truck from Billy. But we already know Richard's the one that used the truck. So Richard acquired the truck. Now, what I'm assuming is Richard stole a truck from Billy, and there was pressure on Billy to make up some story. Maybe he doesn't like Chuck and he tried to blame Chuck. He wasn't going to press charges on Chuck anyway.
Oh, Audrey's sleeping with Billy, and if that's his mother, then I wouldn't like the guy banging my mom either. But maybe Chuck and Richard are the same person. Who knows?
It's right. That could be something
Dick and
like
Chuck.
that too. Yeah. It's very confusing. It's confusing, but definitely the conversation, what Tina was saying was, no, Richard got the truck. Richard ran over the kid. And Charlie's on the other end like, oh, and then, well, how do you know this? And then because Miriam, he attacked Miriam, and Miriam confessed that he was the one that did it. And then there may also be the extra information of Tina. Tina was the last person that saw Billy, and Richard had Billy, and Billy left with Richard. Or
something like that.
Richard killed Billy. Tina's, So
I don't think Audrey's aware of anything Richard did.
Right. And Charlie doesn't want to tell Audrey because this is heartbreaking stuff, whether it's telling her lover's dead or whether it's telling her, which I think it is, her son Richard killed that boy and attacked the woman that witnessed him do it. So
and then Miriam's in life support at the hospital.
Yeah, she needs an operation badly, so she's on life support.
Going down the hallway looks very similar to like a woodsman.
those shots in season 2, those slow shots in the first couple episodes.
If you watch the episode with closed caption, you see door opens, footsteps.
Yeah, it says footsteps tapping,
and then door closes.
And then you get the rapid beeping, beep 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 beep.
So somebody went up in there.
Yeah, it says
somebody went in there.
It says door now. Okay, like you said, if this woman was attacked and the guy that attacked her still on the loose, there would be a deputy guarding the door.
Should be.
What if that deputy was Chad?
And that's what I'm thinking. Chad or Jesse.
Just let Richard in, or just let whoever
got word that we got to get rid of this.
Yes.
I'll take that detail in front of Miriam's door. I would see Chad signing up for that. But somebody went in there and made her beep beep beep.
The closed captions read: door opens, footsteps tapping, door closes, rapid beeping. So they wanted you to know that someone went in that room. Nobody else is talking about this. Nobody except for us. I don't know. I haven't been on Facebook almost never this week, and I don't have a Twitter and I don't have a Reddit. Like I said, if you have those kind of accounts, you will get 1,000 opinions from 1,000 different people every day. So congratulations, somebody out there is talking about this stuff. But what I do is I watch the videos posted on YouTube. I'm subscribed to, I think, 30, at least 28, 30 of them, and then I watch an additional 5 or 10 that I'm not subscribed to because
big fans all
most of the time. Yeah, I like listening to it, even the ones that don't know what they're talking about, even the ones because whatever. I like Twin Peaks content. So
now, if it's a woodsman walking in to her room, Miriam's room, so we hear a woodsman come in, then I can only hope that Miriam gets her pie. And Norma and Shelley visit the hospital with a pie and walk in and see Miriam's exploded head all over the back of the bed. And they drop the pie, and it splashes, and then it pans up and you see the exploded head. Nothing but another fatality for the woodsman.
Wow.
Either way, I don't think Miriam's alive. In fact, I think Miriam's the mom whose mom died that way, but that's later on. We'll talk about that later.
Oh, she's visiting a friend, the French girl.
No, the Angela's mom.
Angela's mom. What am I talking about? I went to Buckhorn.
I know. It doesn't make any sense. And how could Angela's mom be dead if it's Miriam? But I don't trust Twin Peaks timeline at all. I don't trust them. So it could be.
How could Gordon Cole be interested in sleeping with this woman when they're just saw someone's head explode? I could do. The French girl scene lost me this past episode. What did you think about it? That's the kind of girl that make you wish you spoke a little French because that's what she speaks, French.
Oh, très chic.
C'est bon. She liked Gordon.
She's like Octopussy. She's one of those undercover agents working for evil. A lot of people think she's like Lil, and you're just supposed to sit there and read everything she did.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's code. But like, if it's Doppel Cooper Albert, which I think Albert's the bad person in this. Sue me. He's not getting all of the brain dead noise that, just like the cat on a hot tin roof. He didn't get it, and it's scaring Albert. I mean, it's scaring Gordon. Shit.
I believe it.
Make them buy bottled water.
I don't trust anyone in the FBI right now. The only one I trust is Diane. I believe in that relationship between Cooper and Diane. I believed in that. What's the first word that Agent Dale Cooper said in the history of Twin Peaks?
Diane?
And I believe in that relationship.
What's the last word? Annie.
We know we heard Annie mentioned.
You got it on the brain.
We have to hear what happened to Annie. Are you one to think that Linda is a product of Cooper and Annie?
I don't know. Linda's not one of the names. You'd think they would mention, somebody would, in all the names we learned at the end of episode 12, part 12, you would think someone would mention Linda just to kind of try and tie to, if Mary is Mary Ann, then that ties in to, which would be like a crack house. Mary Ann's got the, Richard go over there and get the rest of the drugs. So
there's a lot of connections there.
No one likes Mary Ann, at least the girls that can afford Heineken.
Oh, Mary.
The upper class. Yeah, Mary. I keep saying Mary because it has to be. Please let there be one tie-in, Lynch.
Please let it be 13 new characters instead of 14.
We figured out Billy. I mean, with the first episode, we figured out Billy, and we knew the story there, what was going on. So it's easier to stomach that scene upon a second and third viewing.
But Trick, he shows up and he says he almost got ran over. He said someone ran him off the road, and then a farmer helped him out of the ditch. And it's so weird that they mention a farmer because Twin Peaks is a logging town, right? So
and they didn't name Billy. If we think Billy, they named him the farmer.
They named that guy with the truck the farmer. I got to assume that the farmer is Billy. So a farmer helped him. So it made me think that the truck that almost ran over Trick was being driven by Richard, and that the farmer that helped him out of the ditch was Billy. I think Billy and Richard are on a speaking terms here. I don't know. I don't think that
this puts the timeline off from what we just saw compared to when that happened. It's definitely
we're jumping around.
We throw the timeline.
So who do you think almost ran over?
I thought of Evil Coop, that big monster truck he got in when he left.
The two headlights.
Just two big headlights coming right at me. It was like that, I think. And
so a lot of people were saying that because everyone's so sick in Twin Peaks, and maybe it's because Mr. C's already in town.
I don't know about all that. Just as the doors open, the evils getting together around the dinner table, the conversations getting lively, all the evil minions are getting together. Jerry hauled ass out the woods like it was no one's business. 66-year-old David Patrick Kelly running out the woods.
Yeah.
Giving it all he's got.
He was running downhill and everything. That reminded me of the cowboy in the French.
66 and a half years old.
I don't know if anyone mentioned that or not, but Jerry coming from way in the distance reminded me of, I wanted to hear Carl Roth say, What the hell? So, did you think he had both his feet? Jerry had both his feet? Because it looked like he was hobbling. Now, this is a 60-something-year-old man running full sprint downhill, but it did look like he was hobbling, and he fell at one point, but he got right back up.
Nice.
Do you think that he was struggling with his foot at that point, or do you think he was in full control?
I think he's in full control. He just saw something, and he's getting the hell out of there.
Now, do you think he's been in the woods for 4 or 5 days, like it's kind of been insinuated if you go by the...
I just think it's been 2 days.
A couple of days.
Just 2 days.
It could be just one day and we just got bits and pieces.
We keep seeing later on in the day, 2 nights later, it's still 2 days before the first.
I'm going to guess that when...
It's supposed to be Friday night now, I'm assuming. Audrey's going to the Roadhouse on a Friday night.
It was Friday night, 4 episodes ago.
Which means tomorrow, the next day, we got some backpacking to do.
No, because we've been jumping backwards.
But Audrey could go to the Roadhouse in the beginning of next week's episode, and the Chromatics could be playing from the first damn episode.
Right. The Chromatics were playing in this last episode. Could it have been the same night as the first time we saw the Chromatics?
Probably. Knowing Lynch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
But we are jumping around as far as time goes.
Yeah, I got all those names, and just besides who I think would be friends of Marianne, the drug addicts, Ella, Chloe.
Ella and Chloe, they were the girl with the rash. Was that Ella?
Or Chloe.
Chloe.
Yeah. And Mary, or Marianne, if Mary's Marianne, then we see the good girls, Abby, Natalie.
Natalie and Abby, and they don't like Mary, so if that's Marianne, then yeah, she's the druggie. And Clark is spreading around. That's what they said, Clark's spreading around. Now, they like Angela, and Angela, of course, reminds you of Angel, and we get this sad sob story. It's almost like...
Dreams about Clark.
Right, it's almost like Angela's Laura or something, right? And
yeah.
She's off her meds, which reminds you of the one-armed man. When the one-armed man was off his meds, he would search for Bob. Angela's off her meds, and she's dreaming about Clark, and here's Clark in the corner with Mary. So...
How they high on sparks.
Right, so Clark seems like he's one of these drug dealer guys.
When it offered movie.
Okay, so what else you had on Marianne?
Hopefully that all ties into Richard. I want to see some kind of Carrie scene. Let's get all these kids we just figured out and put them all in the Roadhouse and set it on fire. And that's how we'll know them. We'll know their names again when we hear the eulogy.
And while the Roadhouse is burning, the credits for Invitation to Love will start running over the screen. And we'll realize the whole thing has been an Invitation to Love.
It's just a dream. Now, Diane, I don't care about the red dress or the green. She was wearing green, and then she's wearing green and red. And the French girl wore red. There was no French girl in the bar. Where was she? I don't know.
Okay, Diane was wearing green in 2 episodes ago. When she looked at the coordinates, she was wearing a green shirt. And she was wearing that same green shirt when she was putting in the coordinates back at the hotel, at the bar in the hotel. She was wearing the same shirt when she was putting in the coordinates and finding out that we were going to Twin Peaks. That makes me think the last scene in the FBI that we saw in this episode was actually the first thing that happened chronologically, because then she appears with a red shirt, which was a middle scene, and she got the text and sent the text, and then the question that Diane said, it was Las Vegas, and then Diane said they haven't asked yet. But at the beginning of the episode, they did ask her. They asked her if she wanted to be deputized. They deputized her to become a member of the team, not necessarily a Blue Rose task force agent. Do you think that's what they deputized her for? She's
I don't know.
She's going on this Blue Rose case with them, so, and she knows more than they do, for sure.
What kind of deputization does she have? Because no one, can she access FBI files now?
I'm sure if she's Blue Rose, she's probably top secret, whatever.
Maybe that's what it's got to do with. I think personally, Las Vegas, they haven't asked yet. They haven't asked to go to Las Vegas yet. Not like asking her
something she would know about
Las Vegas, but they haven't inquired. They haven't followed the breadcrumbs to Las Vegas yet, which would make me think that she's talking to someone who knows Evil Coop. People that think she's talking to Evil Coop is like, yeah, they don't want him to find Coop. So then Diane would be like the next hitman to go to Las Vegas and kill Dougie Coop per Evil Coop's orders. That's what Evil Coop people that think Diane's talking to him, that's what they would think.
Well, ultimately,
I think it's Philip Jeffries. Right? I think Philip Jeffries is like, but for some reason they have to bring everyone there. It has
Las Vegas,
right? Yeah, to find Coop to help.
All right, so we have to have a major scene in Las Vegas.
I don't know. It seemed more like they knew, whoever she was talking about knew that they were going to Las Vegas.
They were going, that makes me think of Philip Jeffries. He predicted he went into the future before, so, and he asked Las Vegas, like, are you guys going to Las Vegas? And then she replies, they haven't asked yet. Well, asked her to tag along, asked her to be an agent, and be involved in this case officially, and then go to Las Vegas. Whoever she's sending a text to knows about Las Vegas.
Yep.
I think it's a future. I think it's a time jumper. I think it's Philip Jeffries.
No, I think Evil Coop entering the town of Twin Peaks in the truck doesn't mean that we won't see Evil Coop elsewhere before we, see him in Twin Peaks.
Right.
I just think they're jumping with
They're
Twin
jumping
Peaks.
around. So we're going to
have to map that out at the end of the 18 hours.
We're going to see Mr. C go after Red first, right? I mean Ray.
That's what I think. The farm, I think that's where Beulah and Otis were, where he picked up Daria and Ray. That place you like to go called the farm.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he's waiting for them. That's where Evil Coop is probably told Hutch and Chantel, meet me at the farm when you're done, and then I'll send you to Las Vegas or whatever.
Yeah, they're supposed to go to Las Vegas next, maybe.
Maybe he'll use a clean phone and call them. All right, go straight to Las Vegas and kill such and such. Probably Todd first, knowing languishing Lynch. We're not going to get. Yeah, we're still going to have to wait a couple more episodes, guys.
I mean, Todd's life is on the line, and he just left it up to chance that the Mitchums would take care of this. So how long is Todd going to wait before he finally puts the pressure on Tony Sinclair? Okay, you got to do this. I mean, Mr. C's supposed to call at any time, so Duncan Todd's got to be like, dude, is it done yet? And the way Lynch is, we're probably going to get the realization that the Mitchums didn't make the killing first. And then in the next episode, we'll get Todd putting the pressure on Tony to make the kill. And then in the next episode, we'll have Tony trying to make the attempt on Dougie. So I don't think we're going to get anywhere out of Las Vegas for at least 3 more episodes.
And there's 6 left.
And we have 6 left. Now the titles for all of the episodes remaining have come out. I don't remember all of them, but I do remember what the last 2 are. And if you guys don't want to know it, then close your ears for 10 seconds. Episode 17 is called The Past Dictates the Future. And the last hour is called What is Your Name? So we may have Cooper at the end of hour 18. Okay.
What is your name?
Okay, so there's that. which means we probably won't get out of Las Vegas for another 3 or 4 episodes.
Now let's jump to Sarah, because we're done with Diane, right?
Yeah, we're done with Diane. She's still a good girl. I just think that the FBI scenes were in complete reverse this last episode.
You mentioned this on your review, the vacuum cleaner in the background with her looking up the coordinates turning into the hum, which is undoubtedly the hum in the Great Northern.
Yeah, that's
nothing else I've heard sounded like the hum of the Great Northern.
The little thing with the tube was slightly like it, but there was so much extra in it that made it distinctly different. This one sounded like the same sound.
Exactly.
And the only conflicting sound, the only addition to the sound was the other sound going on, the vacuum cleaner, and then the wind blowing when you go over the trees. Okay.
You wouldn't play that hum for. You wouldn't call it Tibetan bells or.
Yeah, the ringing out of a monastery bell. If this was an indication that Diane was bad.
Yeah.
It just seemed like this is now everybody should know.
Diane was
at this point. Albert knew, and he almost said it, and then he stopped for some reason. Why did he stop? He didn't want Mackley to know, because Tammy's going to find out.
But that would be the next. That would be the next thing to do. It's time to go. It's time to go
it's
to these.
time to have Bardot and a French woman.
What are we waiting for? We're waiting for the results of the ring to come back from Constance. Or are we waiting? We're not waiting for anything. There's no reason to be drinking wine.
That's the last thing in South Dakota left to do. Besides find major breaks.
Board a flight in the morning. That's what they're waiting to do.
Yeah, and start investigating where this freaking wedding
on
ring
private
came from.
Jet, but
Bring the French girl with you if you want. Why not? Just pin her up on the wall like she is, what she is, and look at her on your own time. Look at her when everyone else is sleeping, okay? But not when we have national security threats going on. Okay?
With Sarah, and this was interesting because when we first watched it, I saw someone in a grocery store, convenience store, coming to her senses, trying to plead out for help, and a possessed spirit inside of this person saying, "Get your butt out of here and let's go."
Sarah, don't say anything else.
let's go. You've said too much. I can't let you go anywhere.
Right.
But
when I watched it, I thought she was just talking herself out of this bad situation. Like, Sarah, don't do this. Just get out of the public. She'd rather be at home drinking alcohol than having to deal with the public in any way, especially with kids. You know, this new thing happens in the store. The room looks different now. Are you guys even aware of what's going on? Which brings me back to Dr. Amp. He's trying to convince everyone, trying to wake everybody up and saying, hey, pay attention to what's going on. And Sarah was trying to warn these kids, you know, things happen. And then she thought, okay, you're just a crazy old woman in town. You got to get out of here. But it's Twin Peaks, so she's probably possessed.
We went back, looked at it again, and I was convinced what he told me was the right way, and he saw it more what I said.
What he said was the right way.
So it's just that's what makes it. That's Lynch. That's the reason why it's the best show. That's the reason why it's the only show we talk about.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing else, and there's probably a third or fourth way to look at it as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's
But I'm convinced the grocery boy is the one in the kitchen making noise, and he's tied up.
Oh.
He showed up with the groceries, and Evil Coop or Bob possessing Sarah or whatever the hell is in her kitchen, tied up the bag boy. We have not seen the last of the grocery boy.
I think the lively conversation around the dinner table hasn't happened yet, and it's going to happen in the Palmer house.
But the dinner table is in the dining room. There's something in the kitchen.
There's something in the kitchen.
Evil Coop could be in the kitchen, even though we see him at the farm or see him driving to Twin Peaks.
Right.
I'm convinced
this could be the night that
it all goes down.
Right, that Hawk's about to take off into the woods. We're just not going to see it until 4 episodes from now. You know, it is an 18-hour film, and it's just broken up into different chunks, and we're getting all of it, and it's interesting, it's fun. It's just drives me crazy when you have to wait a week at a time, and we're not sure what's going on.
I'm running out of time. Now, you mentioned Dr. Amp, high atop, and he's not poisoned by what's happening down below. And you see Nadine's always drinking that shake, and she's got a gold shovel.
She's got a gold shovel.
Her life is fine.
She's the character that seems the most happy and content. And she even said during Dr. Amp's program, she said, "It's working for me, Dr. Amp," and she's got one of them gold shovels.
And she's not eating that turkey jerky crap they send to the store. She's drinking a shake that's made from stuff grown up on top of the mountain and not down in Twin Peaks.
Well, Jerry's snacking on some interesting stuff, and he likes Dr. Amp too. Maybe he hasn't got a shovel yet. Hey, get yourself a cherry pie and a gold shovel, and you are good to go. Now we know how to combat the evil.
Gold
and
shovel,
stay away from the turkey jerky.
Is it smoked? Is it smoked like the Woodsman? Is it smoked? Did this stuff just come in? Was it pre-treated? You got to watch out. These men are coming. These dirty, bearded men. The last thing I got, and really, because I really just thought about this. I mean, because we're kind of waiting for all these loose ends to tie up. Fingerprints were taken eons ago by the detectives Fusco, and
that's what's going to get the FBI to Las Vegas. I thought it was the ring, but I think they're going to be on the plane heading to Las Vegas when they figure out the ring, something like that. I think
maybe
the fingerprints. Explain how you think that's going to go down.
When Buckhorn ran the fingerprints of Major Briggs, it was blocked by the military, and military got notification that somebody ran these prints. I think the same would apply with FBI. So if there was an agent that had gone missing, that the Fuscos might get blocked by the FBI. I mean, we might see them just like, oh, it was blocked. But the Bureau would get the notification that these prints were ran in Las Vegas. That's a good way
to get Denise back. Denise could call Gordon and say,
yeah, she might get the call.
You guys are going to talk to Cooper. Well, I just got a hit on Cooper's prints if you're looking for them.
Right. If the detectives get it, they'll call the FBI. But I think they'll get blocked, and Cooper will get notified.
And Gordon will say, is the spiritual mound backwards? And Denise is going to be like, excuse me? Right. That's a good way to get the FBI. That's probably the way we're going to get the FBI of Las Vegas.
You called the Rancho Rosa opening title.
Before they showed the Rancho Rosa thing, I guessed the color. I said it's going to be pink. It came up pink. It was a light red. It was very close to pink, and I freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, you know what this means? This means we're going to get Audrey. Audrey's definitely going to be in this episode, and bam, there she was. Yeah, that's what I got from the Rancho Rosa sign. That told me, and it's not like pink is synonymous with Audrey, but it was in my mind when I saw it. I thought of pink little girl. I thought of the perfect little girl. Oh, it's Audrey. And her little coat was kind of a light reddish color.
What story is that, Charlie?
That story is going to be about Richard. Richard, your son, the attempted murderer, running down a child, vehicular manslaughter.
Pinning on Billy.
That's not the same as trying to kill somebody and going after them. That was premeditated. You could say the kid was an accident, but trying to kill Miriam was premeditated. So he's going to fry for that.
I'm bunting this week and saying Audrey is going to be the one to say, what story is that, Charlie?
I got to say that too. Charlie doesn't seem like he's going to be walking around, talking to too many people. He might just sit in that desk and use that damn rotary phone all episode long this week.
The whole father thing with Richard. With Ben, his story, the Schwinn, because his daddy was there. We saw Ben try to be Audrey's dad in season 2.
Right.
Richard never had a father. Got me thinking John Justice Wheeler would not have slept with Audrey, her losing her cherry,
without using
a condom. And if he came back and she was pregnant, then even a good guy like John Justice Wheeler, who is just one X chromosome away from Brando's dad, Richard.
Oh, Marlon Brando. I think that Billy Zane looks exactly like Marlon Brando.
The guy that slept with Lucy.
Oh, Dick Tremaine.
Dick Tremaine. Dick. Yeah. I think John Justice Wheeler is like one Y chromosome away from Dick Tremaine.
I don't know what you're saying, but okay. So what you're saying is
he's next to gay, except he's a guy.
Oh, okay. So John Justice Wheeler used protection,
and she's pregnant, so he's like, I'm out. I know I'm not the dad. And
wow, man.
So,
but she lost her virginity to him. And this is the only guy she knows of that she slept with. You don't think he would be convinced? This guy has to be out of the picture somehow because
maybe he died on one of his Salvation Army
missions. That's what happened. His partner died. He went to help his partner and he died. I think that's what happened. Funny though that the one that Audrey's in love with now is named Billy. Billy Zane. Billy's been missing for 2 days. He's been playing Colonel Sanders.
So overall, I'm not disappointed in Audrey's premiere. There's more to come. There's more to come.
And she's always been bratty, and she's always been sassy. She's just cursing now.
We didn't hear the hum in the Great Northern. The key was still there, but we didn't hear the hum, so maybe Richard's hiding in the walls.
Ben is covering Richard's tracks. Ben's got Richard's
Well, he knows or not. That goes to whether Ben's, what hospital did you say? And I could have been a good Calhoun name drop right there.
Drop Calhoun, man.
But when he said that, I thought, because, we had Ben for so long being bad, I thought, he's going to send a hit out on Miriam.
Ben was bad for a half a century of his life, okay? But we got Ben bad for maybe 14 episodes, and then after that, He went to jail, and after that, he's tried his hardest to be good. That's the way I look at it. And the majority of the time we've had Ben Horn, he's been trying to be a good guy, and we can't let him, away from his past. We blame him for his past. Now, he won the Civil War. I was going to do a whole video on Ben because this is something else that bothers me. It's not going to take me long. It's just that he never intentionally did anything bad after he won the Civil War. He tried to be good. Now, he was good to a fault and caused pain with revealing he was Donna's father and the Ghostwood thing. He's like, damn, this Ghostwood anyway. I mean, he should have never ever pushed Audrey into being in that pageant because she could have died. So he's being good to a fault.
Probably giving Richard all that money.
Right.
It looks like I was just trying to help, and it just made things worse.
He cut off Sylvia too. So there's some hints of he's not a great 100% great person. But I mean, come on, man. Once you're divorced from somebody, you shouldn't be forced to buy them shoes the rest of their lives. It's just the way it is.
I hope.
It's true. I hate that. When people are fighting in court, a star breaks up with his wife, but he's got to give her $2,000 a month for shoes. Come on, man. Y'all are divorced, man. Husbands give their wives money, and in exchange, they want wifely things. Cook me dinner, have sex with me, live with me, love me. I'm going to give you $2,000 for shoes. Okay.
You can't go down on a date and then get married and pretend like you don't go down anymore. That was part of the deal. When I said I do.
You can't buy a DVD player and come home and open it up. There's a VCR in the box. Okay, so
that's it, man.
That was it. There's a lot of stuff out there. This was a weak episode for a lot of people, and there's a lot of questions out there, especially around these new characters. But what we've got is Mary is probably a bad girl. Angel A is off her meds, and her mother died, and so she's going to go crazy if she finds out that, what's his name, Clark. And I think Clark is a bad thing because of the way they said it. He's spreading around, and if he's dancing with Mary and she's Mary Ann drugs, then we've got some serious shit going on there. And then with Audrey, Chuck, I think that the scene with Andy there and Billy's like, you gotta leave now. I'll tell you later. I don't even think he knew the story he was supposed to tell. He didn't see Chuck steal his truck, I don't think. I think Richard stole his truck, and Richard told him to be quiet, and he felt like he had to be quiet about it, so he blamed Chuck on the theft. Then he changed his mind about it. It's just all weird. But believe me, what Tina was telling Charlie was the story of Richard and Miriam.
And then we'll find out first 10 minutes.
Hopefully.
We're
still going to be waiting to go to the roadhouse. They're still going to be there. And he's finally going to admit that Tina told him the story. And Audrey's going to say, what story is that, Charlie?
I hope we have a Texas Chainsaw Massacre style scene at the farm with Otis and Beulah, and
you hope that Chantal and
I hope they make it and torture Ray and torture the coordinates out of him. I want to see Chantal torture the coordinates out of Ray while Otis and Beulah are just there crying or laughing, or just something psycho Texas Chainsaw Massacre. No laying on the horns though.
Right.
Leave the horns out of it. And a lot more Twin Peaks investigating, like that's outside other things. Like Jesse I'm starting to think Jesse might have been investigating Chad, not helping Chad, but lying about where, I want to give Jesse a chance. He was at the festival this weekend, Twin Peaks Festival. Jesse and Chad were both there. What an eclectic group.
And Nikki was there. We still haven't met Linda. A lot of things.
Miriam was there. That actress that plays Miriam was at the festival.
Cool.
And then
great.
Nadine and Audrey and Sabrina Sutherland.
The one-armed man there?
Yep, Philip Gerard, or Al Strobel. Krista Bell was there. Amy Shields. Candy was there.
John Neff.
Woo! and James Marshall, James
man,
Hurley,
I'd love to meet James.
and who am I forgetting?
No, we didn't go.
Betty Briggs, Charlotte Stewart was
Charlotte
there.
Stewart was there. Oh my
It's like 13 or 14 of them.
I would have to kiss that woman's feet at the one scene she had. I would have to say thank you so much for being Betty again. I'm telling you, when this whole 18 hours is over with, that scene with Betty Briggs, that's going to be one of the best, no doubt. That was awesome.
So yeah, investigation like that, you know, little corruption stuff being brought up. We got to beat around the bush. You know, we're not going to get what we're looking for. So let's find something that we want to beat around the bush about. And, yeah, and then it might be one day till we go to the site.
Oh yeah, when Sarah goes out of that grocery store and she says, "Get the goddamn car keys." They go back to the cash out girl and the bag boy, and you can hear tires screeching in the parking lot, like somebody was slamming on their brakes to try not to hit her walking through the parking lot or something. It's strange though, because where that sound of the tires screeching happens in conjunction with the song that's going on in the background, it's the same as Fire Walk With Me when Leland pulls into that gas station and slams on his brakes. It happens at the exact same moment. It happens during the track, the musical track. It's just, to me, that was a callback to Fire Walk With Me. I mean, you have this car slamming.
If you watch Fire Walk With Me 10, 15, 20 times, you might not catch it, but 50 times, you hear the song with the tire screech.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened the exact same way this week.
Yeah, in the same way. It's like, wow. I love that. The throwbacks that they were doing in the beginning of the episode with the ceiling fan and the rain, the music, the thunder rolling, but definitely the Fire Walk With Me music. As soon as that music starts in the grocery store, you know something's not right.
It's a convenience store.
We'll see. Yeah, it was set up weird.
It was really convenient,
The bread was
especially
on
for
the other
her.
side
She
of the
didn't have to be
alcohol.
that far down. She probably had to go down there to get the Bloody Mary mix, but I mean, the cigarettes and the vodka was right there at the front.
And you notice what brand of cigarettes they were?
Salem.
Yeah, of course they were Salem's, because, you know, this is Twin Peaks.
Then they showed it Salem.
Yeah. Brought to you by
Salem's. Brought to you by Wendy's. Somebody out there do a version of Chantal. We're going Wendy's, but put Ronald McDonald in the warden spot. Then have him kill Ronald McDonald. Stop. And then have a little clown kid come out. Daddy. Next stop, Wendy's. Open late on Fridays. God, we hope it's Friday.
We've been on Friday for 4 episodes now, at least.
This would be Friday, September 30th.
God only knows. Yeah, September 30th.
Yeah, hopefully. It was the 29th, back when Matthew Lillard was in jail,
Mm-hmm.
and we're supposed to. Okay, you just figure that one out.
Yep.
Figure it out.
We're going to go in 2 days, and in the next episode, we had 2 days happen in Twin Peaks. And then the next episode, we're still waiting 2 more days. And then we had this episode. And Hawk was chasing down Sarah because of some run-in at the grocery store.
Should be one day.
Sarah had to come check on you. You paid for groceries, and you didn't bring them home. Yeah, I think they're just wasting time. Till they
Where's
come out
that
to
bag
check
boy?
rabbits. The bag boy's going to end up missing.
God
happening
damn,
next?
sad story. What's she saying?
God damn, bad story. Isn't it, Hawk?
That's could mean 3-4 things too. Just what happened to me is a bad fucking story, huh? I left the grocery. I flipped out at the grocery
Right.
store.
Everyone's worried about
Leave me
me,
alone.
right? They're worried about me. It's a bad fucking story, isn't it?
But it also sounds like I'm lying my ass off to you
Yeah.
right now, and this is horrible. You could just read. Can you
Is
read
somebody
my
in the
poker
house?
face?
Is someone in the house? No, that's just something in the kitchen.
Something's in the kitchen with Bob. I know. Something's in the kitchen with Bob. I know.
Something in the kitchen.
Evil Cooper. Something's in the kitchen with Richard and Ray.
Man, who's going to show up in Twin Peaks that's already hanging out in all these other places? I mean, you know, Tony, the Mitchum brothers,
Who knows?
Janie E.
Bushnell and
Bushnell.
Sarah
I
together
think Bushnell
forever.
and Sarah should hook up. That would be great.
She need to hook up with Carl.
maybe I just might post bail or something. He leaves town and gets as far away as possible to the town of Twin Peaks. Or maybe Chantal and Hutch
That's
end
it.
up in Twin Peaks.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that's it. Thoughts we thought you didn't think of. I didn't spend too much time on social media this week. I watched enough videos to know that nobody's figured out that phone conversation. So there you go. It was definitely about Richard. That's why Charlie didn't tell Audrey.
Definitely.
Yes, definitely. And we know that Clark's a bad guy.
99%.
Clark's a bad guy. So we gotta watch out for him. And Chuck may be a figment of people's imagination. No, Audrey knows Chuck. I think Chuck is Tina's husband.
That's gotta be it.
We weren't going to spend the whole hour talking about those guys, but this was thoughts we thought you didn't think of. I wanted my brother to get his 2 cents in on this episode. I might do another video this week. I don't know. I've been wanting to talk about it. It's so weird that we have the bad episode and then I can't stop thinking about it. I want to figure this stuff out. It gives us more to talk about, right? Is Billy the farmer and all that stuff. Okay, so we're button next week. Audrey's gonna say, "What story is that, Charlie?" She's probably gonna say it like, "What story is that, Charlie?" You fucker.
I ain't calling her a succubus. Shelley's a succubus.
And Audrey doesn't live there. She lives in a much nicer place. Has to. Okay, yeah, I'm signing off. Subscribe to Rosenfield 10. I'm Joe.
I'm James.
This has been Twin Peaks Twin Perspective. Thoughts we thought you didn't think of. And keep tuning in. Leave your comments if you want to contradict anything. And I will see you in the trees. Bye.